Heart friends of the ages, I come this day to pay tribute to the Knight Commander Saint Germain. I come to give homage to the Goddess of Liberty, who gave me the strength to endure through my service as George Washington and as your own messenger, Godfre. Beloved ones of freedom, it is a joy and a privilege to be with pilgrims and pioneers from many nations who have gathered in the heart of this inner retreat and who have had the vision to secure a place, and a place prepared at that, for any and all eventualities of the spirit and of matter. Delicate flowers of the heart of Portia, and strong minute men and women of Saint Germain, children of purity, and mature souls who are wise for your sojourn on earth in this life. I welcome you all in the name of the great I Am, and I send my love to every life stream upon earth who in this hour and lifetime has devoted the heart to the mighty I Am presence, to the power of God presence with you, and to the duty of the service of that one. The mighty I Am presence is the way to your victory. Its revelation unto me by the Master Saint Germain was the key to my victory. Beloved ones, the retreats were opened for me. The doors were unlocked, and I entered that I might bear witness and testimony unto the octaves of light and the continuing opportunity in earth's schoolroom for you to study and to learn and to overcome. I will tell you that I also had things to overcome in my life. And it was with the understanding of my mighty I Am presence and the great law of the I Am that I was able to surmount not only my own karma, but all difficulties which beset my path. Believe me, beloved hearts, when you know the law, and you know the way, and you know when you call to your mighty I Am presence, the call compels the answer. You have a certain strength and a determination and an inner knowledge as to where to turn in time of trouble. Thus it was the Archangel Michael who protected me and beloved Lotus, our entire family and movement. Beloved ones, my taking leave of this octave, as it were in an untimely manner, but nevertheless compelled by God, did leave the I Am movement in a situation of vulnerability. I pray that you understand that the great strength and the reinforcement of this activity by the Ascended Masters and the Chelas is for the mighty purpose of fulfilling that work left undone and that had to be fulfilled in the latter part of this century. And this was due to the fact of the non-response of those who should have come in to the mighty power of the decree work, and also to the opposition of the black magicians, the dark ones who determined to hold back the full expression of the light through those who remained. Beloved hearts of living flame, the centuries and the decades move on. The one messenger of God and the only messenger is the eternal Christ, and that eternal Christ will place his mantle upon the one called by God in any or every age, in time of calamity or epidemic or plague or cataclysm, to bring to the people the comfort and the joy of the I Am Presence and the knowledge thereof. Thus you see, the true messenger of God is one, and is not defined by any one individual who may be empowered thereby, but the messenger of God is a holy office, and it is the office of your own Christ self. Thus your Christ self does deliver to you the emanations of the mind of God, and is indeed your higher mental body, or your higher consciousness, as you say. Thus, as you walk the earth, you become the sole messenger of your own higher mental body, and you are intended to be the instrument of the Word of God to give that compassion and comfort to life. The only true comfort there can be must be laid upon the foundation of your mighty I Am Presence, the knowledge of its supreme power in your life, your conviction that is absolute and unwavering, that out of the heart of your mighty I Am Presence will one day descend the gift of your own ascension, which you will earn, and yet which God will give to you by his grace. Beloved ones, this is the path. Walk ye in it, for all else is illusion, and all else is of the human, which has no power and no reality. And you must take this opportunity in the mountains to dwell upon your presence, to meditate upon your presence, and to give the call to your beloved I Am Presence, as it is written. Dear hearts of living flame, if you can develop the habit of placing your attention on your I Am Presence at 5 points in the day, equally separated, you will discover a new thrust, as it were, to your prayer wheel of life, and you will find your chakras beginning to turn and your sacred centers accelerating. You will find a new consciousness. Sometimes you are so involved in doing things, all of those things that are certainly necessary, and you have in the back of your mind that in a little while you will decree, in a little while you will meditate, and in the meantime the substance accumulates. It becomes more and more dense. You deal with the mass consciousness. You become less effective, and yet somehow, as though you were glued to it instead of God, you do not stop for those precious moments of communion. When you develop the habit of the 5 secret ray meditation, which I give you herewith, you will see the propelling power of God when your attention is upon him. O my angels of the flame of God obedience, teach my beloved to listen to the promptings of the eternal Christ within. O voice of the One, speak to thy children, speak to the youth, speak to all people. O soul of light, daughter of God, Son of the Most High, hear me, I address you. Deceive not yourself, deceive not your mother or your heavenly Father, but rather embrace the cosmic honor flame of God and find in the intensity of the light the fulfillment of all that you desire. Beloved hearts of living flame, you will never regret the riveting of your attention upon your God, nor will you regret your resistance to the devil who would tempt you into byways. You will never regret your obedience to God first, For God is a rewarder of those who cherish in love obedience to his commandments, which are set not to bind or limit you, my beloved ones, but rather for your exaltation, for your protection, and for your own ability to be the vortex of his expanding light. In the fullness of your God presence is all that you desire, and you will never know how true this is until you go to the fount of the Godhead and realize how precious, how mystical, how profoundly powerful is the light of God that streams forth and elevates you above the morass of the lower consciousness and directs your attention to the fulfillment of all God happiness through all God obedience. I can assure you that though no outer person may police your habits and your goings and your comings, the angels of God watch over you, and they do weep when you close your door of opportunity by indulging in those things that you ought to set aside for the better and the higher way. Thus the angels are burdened when they see that in the desire for freedom and liberty, you can actually set aside the great law that has been your first love in the beginning and will one day be your first love in the ending. For you shall come full circle, but unless you retreat to the heart of God, and that quickly, you will find, my beloved, that you will go a wide circle of experience in Maya before you return to the Holy of Holies. And in that experience of the karma that comes upon you in place of divine opportunity, you will find that once on that roller coaster, you will then long for the day when you can once again be in the heart of Lanello, be in the heart of the mother. But when you take the road that leads on to another and another, you will find that the cycle must run its course. And when you return, you will find that the little pine tree is grown very, very high. And you will say, look at all of this. Look at these shining ones. Look at what they have become while I have gone out to make my way with my knapsack on my back over the highways and byways that are endless over the face of the earth. Thus, beloved ones, obedience is a shining light that enables you to enter in. I remember when Rex and Nada and Bob and Pearl were taken into the inner temples. What joy, what victory. I bring you the message of your own present ability to move with the immortals, to be a part of them, for you are also immortal here and now, as Saint Germain has told you. My beloved, understand then that you are being instructed even now at inner levels. You are receiving the teaching for the molding of character, the shaping of your life, the divine design of your future, and what you are capable of giving to future generations by planning for your offspring, by planning for your own service to life in whatever field. This life is so beautiful when you stand at the threshold of opportunity. Make the most of it, beloved hearts, for as the years turn, you realize that you cannot go back to the moment of eternal youth and opportunities that seem so easy now will not be nigh in future rounds when the challenge of karma and the planetary dweller and the defending of the community will be a responsibility on your shoulders. Now let the honeycomb, now let the angles of life, now let the hexagon and the octagon teach you of the power of 3 times 3, the power of the 6-pointed star, the power of the 8-fold energy field of the God star, and the light of Syria with us in this nation. The legions of Archangel Michael and the legions of Sirius are behind the protection and the founding of America. If you could realize that home is the God star, that you have come from a most wondrous place of light, and the grandest, most vast home. If you could realize that angels from the God star do come and walk with you and comfort you in your loneliness, be not lonely, precious heart. And remember that aloneness itself has an intrinsic virtue, for in the aloneness there is space to meet thy God. Space not cluttered by a clamor of voices making demands upon your life and light. Beloved hearts, let God fill the vacuum and fear not to create it by the self-emptying process. For in the whiteness and the stillness of a winter's night at Valley Forge, it is as though infinity itself softly, softly steps in and fills the air with a quality not of the heaviness of the moisture, but of the power of the presence of God. God's presence as the permeation of the aura of that God star Sirius was a part of the victory of that war we fought in the spirit of freedom, led by the eternal mother in the person of the goddess of liberty. Oh, how she is and was and always shall be that comforter, the one who inspires patriots, defends America, holds the dream as the book of the law, will never let down her torch, will light your way and lead you into that perfect love for which your soul longs. How else can one fulfill love except in service to one's country, one's world, hand in hand with light bearers and family and souls that are so much a part of thy living heart? We were few in number, but we kept a flame. She placed it in our hearts. It warmed us when we had neither food nor clothing. Beloved ones, that experience to me, that necessary, that holy, if you will, revolution, taught me how the individual can transcend himself, his poor powers to function, his present meager potential, not once, but 10 and 20 times. How God, as the steely white fire of Serapis, can come through one's temple like the cold winds of winter passing through a lattice when no roses are in bloom. How the fire of God can come upon a soul and lead an army and keep them unto the end, even in the face of those who then, so soon, were the enemies of Christ in our nation's history. Ah, yes, there were many who were against the war, who would not provide the funds or the support. There are always those who can never, ever see the vision. They can never identify who is the enemy, who is the friend, and which way is up. Be not discouraged. The one predictable thing about them is that they always hang around. Well, beloved hearts, it sharpens one's mind and stills one's chattering teeth. For it is more the enemy at times than the love of God that keeps one alert. Thus there are yet battles to be fought and won. And the dearest one of all is your conquest of your own self-love that blinds you to the glory just beyond the turn in the road. Yes, I come. I come to do battle with that force in the self that prefers the self for many reasons, out of fear for one, and absence of vision of the mighty I Am Presence for another. It is most dangerous because it also causes you to give deference to your human will and set aside the divine when the reverse ought to be true. Thus you see, self-love is the greatest single obstacle to the path because it can never be seen. It is like a shadow. You turn around and you cannot see it. Yet it limits the divine expression and blinds you to the first order of the day and the duty to rise with the sun, to be the sun. When you greet the dawn at the horizon, you can climb with the sun to the zenith. But if you sleep till noon, it is mighty hard to go straight to the top of the sky. Thus, beloved ones, the rising sun is the sign of your rising Christ consciousness. Greet the dawn with joy. Be industrious. Build a new nation, a new culture, and a new world of the Spirit. For this is a tangible manifestation of the city foursquare, this etheric retreat over the royal Teton Ranch. The etheric city of light becomes a God goal, and you will build your abode for shelter and be comfortable and even roomy. But one day you will step from your house on earth to your house in heaven. I tell you this not to hasten the day, nor turn your attention to it. I have instead in mind a psychological reason, and that is to displace the thought form of approaching death with that of the approaching homing. going home to God, even as you ought to be certainly at home on earth, with all of the love of angels around you. Though you do battle with the serpent, you can hardly keep from laughing in his face when he is so serious in his condemnation of you. It is good. It is good to be jovial in the face of the dead seriousness of the fallen ones. And they are aghast that your laughter can blow them away like the gust of a strong wind of a beautiful spring morning in the Rockies. Oh, I have hiked in the Rockies. I have climbed the mountains. I have been at Shasta. I have loved this earth and this soil, and I know the dreams that you dream. And they that are worthwhile ought to be fulfilled while there is time. But beloved ones, the greatest dream you can dream is one of God, one of helping millions of souls find the mighty I Am presence, and then one day, stepping through that hatch, never more to descend again, except once again to commune and speak and admonish those who will follow in your footsteps. You know of me because I have written my experiences and preserved the writing and the law of Saint Germain. Let others know of you as numberless numbers of saints robed in white, who will be remembered for saving America and saving earth for freedom's star. In the spirit of liberty I stand. She is one who will not leave you, nor shall I. I am come, your mentor, on the path of the Bodhisattva, on the path of the Buddha. I learned and won my freedom under Lanto, under Confucius, Gautama Buddha, and Maurya did not leave me alone until he was certain I had bound the very foe of my own life, which was in me, of course, for there are no other foes. Precious ones, dearest hearts, keep on striving and never fear to give something up of yourself for the cause of freedom, for the cause herself shall reward you openly, and your joy shall be full, and you shall seek no other. The twin flames of love and light have released their causal bodies to you. From Maitreya Mountain, from the central sun, for by your harmony you have created a corridor to the very throne room of Helios and Vesta. The sustainment of harmony by the hour in the joy of song is one of the best means I know of fulfilling that law and mandate of harmony. With that attention on your presence, thus you have built the spiral within the corridor, and now, this evening as you take your leave from your physical body temples, Helios and Vesta receive you with open arms of light and love and vast wisdom of the spheres in their retreat in the temple of the sun. White angels, with fiery shields and helmets and swords held. Seraphim, legions of Justinius, of Uriel, Helios, and Vesta, my own bands and others, shall accompany you now into the heart of the sun known as victory. Thus mighty victory himself takes his name from the sun of this system, and it is to the victory retreat of Helios and Vesta that we go. I seal you in the honor of God. As you give your allegiance to that honor, so the honor of God will never forsake you. Remember this, my children.